Hello, my name is Matthew Torrey, and today I will be talking about the fascinating Republic of Chechnya, located in the Northern Caucasus region of Russia. Although a part of Russia, this republic is not a country, but rather a subject of Russia and a federal region that has its own degree of autonomy, which I will discuss later. Chechnya is bordered by Russia proper in the north, Ingushetia in the west, and Dagestan in the east. Chechnya has very rugged terrain, as it hosts the very rugged Caucasus mountain range. Similar to Colorado, Chechnya has very cold winters and very hot summers, and this is partially caused by the mountainous terrain. The longest river in the Caucasus region, the Terek River, flows through Chechnya, and you can see it right here on the map. Chechnya is also home to vast oil and gas reserves and a lot of really cool wildlife. Now I will talk about Chechen food. Here are some Chechen foods that I would like to try. On the top right here is something called kaichin, which is a flatbread stuffed with potatoes, meat, and herbs. Kinkali, a Caucasus and Chechen-style dumpling that's also found in places like Azerbaijan and Georgia and throughout the Caucasus region, to be honest. So here are those. And then chudu is like a pancake stuffed with herbs and some other fillings, depending on where you go. And these are three Chechen foods that stood out to me. Now I'm going to talk more about the political side of Chechnya, which is one of the most fascinating things I've ever studied, to be honest. So, in the early 19th century, when Russia expanded, Chechnya became a part of Russia. And these people in Chechnya are renowned warriors, and they put up a strong fight against Russian imperialists, but were unable to retain their full status. When the Soviet Union collapsed, when the old Russian government collapsed and the Soviet Union took over, Chechnya was granted a certain degree of autonomy within the Russian Soviet state. All was well in Chechnya, and relations had remained pretty positive between the USSR and Chechnya until World War II in 1940. Chechen nationalist Kasan Israiliev led an insurrection against the Soviet Union, lasting from 1940 to 1944. This revolt led Stalin to accuse the Chechen people of collaboration with Nazi Germany and led to a mass deportation of Chechens to parts of Siberia and Kazakhstan. Chechens had to wait until 1957 to return to their homeland. This lady, who at one time was the oldest person on the planet, retold the story and the horrors of the deportation, and it is one of the biggest human rights violations that I myself had not heard of, and that the world does not discuss enough. So now I'm going to talk about the First and Second Chechen Wars. So following the collapse of the Soviet Union, Chechnya declared independence from Russia. At the time, the leader Boris Yeltsin invaded, and it was like a full-scale military operation, very similar to Ukraine, funny enough. And Russian cabinet members forecasted this invasion as a bloodless blitzkrieg, very similar to how to Putin's rhetoric of Ukraine. However, once the Russians destroyed the Chechen Air Force, the Chechen fighters were able to halt them in urban warfare, and this kind of created a stalemate. The Chechen fighters were unable to have a clear win, and same with Russia, and it kind of just resulted in a stalemate. But this killed approximately 30,000 Chechen soldiers and approximately only 5,000 Russian military personnel. The capital city of Grozny was left basically uninhabitable, and there was a lot of civilian, military, and just like damage to infrastructure down there. In 1999, Putin, as he does, claimed another military operation, named it a counterterrorism operation, very vaguely coded operation that is basically a war, and sought to kind of get rid of the high levels of Islamic Jihad and terrorism that were present in Chechnya now following the first Chechen War, or the first invasion. So Chechnya remains, Chechnya is one of the most fascinating places politically in the world. The current ruler of Chechnya, Nazem Kadyrov, is very famous in pop culture and has very close ties to Chechen MMA and UFC fighters, and is one of Putin's closest allies. So after the first invasion of Chechnya, although very supportive of Chechen independence, Kadyrov and his father began to distance themselves from the main pro-independence movements in Chechnya because they had some dissidents about religion and things like that. And so Putin elected Nazim's father Akhmat as the de facto leader of Chechnya. However, Akhmat was assassinated in 2004 when Nazim was approximately 27 years old, and the rule at the time was you have to be 30 to take power. So Nazim had to wait 3 years to take over the throne of Chechnya, and spent those 3 years suppressing competition and even murdering some political competition. So there was a very strong faction of extreme Islamic Jihad in Chechnya, and Putin and Nazim Kadyrov worked very hard to develop a very strong Chechen fighting force to eliminate these risks in Chechnya. And this fighting force is very much devoted to Kadyrov and will kill any political dissenters and, more importantly, Kadyrov's political opponents. So due to Putin's very tight relationship with Kadyrov, they have an unprecedented level of control over Chechnya that no other Russian subject has. So it's very fascinating. Chechnya is not very known in pop culture, besides from MMA fighters. So I've seen on the news on ESPN, I've seen Khabib Nurmagomedov and Khamzat Chimaev, and they are two of the best fighters in the UFC. And this has provided Kadyrov a lot of good positive press for Chechnya, and has kind of shown a light on Chechnya that isn't just corruption and mass casualties and genocide. So Chechnya is pretty known in pop culture in the MMA and Ultimate Fighting Championship world, but besides that, it's pretty much just these two fighters that are known. So my word in Russian is smeshanye единоборства, and that means mixed martial arts, something that Chechnya is very well known for. And so in conclusion, Chechnya is one of the most fascinating topics in Russian politics, and it is a perfect example of how Russia and Putin let corruption run rampant within its sphere of influence. Although home to a fascinating culture, religion, and food, Chechnya's political oppression and iron fist rule by Kadyrov and Putin watching over his shoulder have made life extremely difficult for everyday Chechen people. As Nazim Kadyrov allows Putin's agenda to thrive within the republic. Thank you for your time, and here are my sources.